welcome to the pod. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jessica.
What do we do? Tell them what we do.
The podcast where you find out who is right, who is wrong, and who is dead.
And we tell you who's dead right away.
Yeah.
There are spoilers galore here on this thing. There are spoilers and guesses because we tell you who died. We find out who died in like the first few minutes of the TV show. And then before there are any clues, before there's any information, we guess who did it.
Yes.
And then we keep score because, you know, we're not going to pussyfoot around this. We're gonna guess. We're gonna tell you who we think did it, and then we're gonna keep score. Because what's a game? What's a game without score?
Yeah.
So, and unlike all your other friends who are just like, oh, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was him. Did they? Did they know? Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. But if they don't go on record, can't trust them. Can't trust them. You can trust us. We may be wrong, but you can trust us.
A lot of times.
Wait a minute. You can trust us a lot of times, or we're wrong a lot of times?
The latter.
Both.
Yeah,
both.
Yeah.
So what have we got this week? What's up this week?
Yeah, today we are watching Lucifer Season 3, Episode 8.
Season 3, Episode 8. That sounds like a good one. 2 cubed is 8, so, it's got to be good.
Oh, all right. So when a murder is connected to a celebrity dating app, Lucifer and Chloe question all they know about the world of social media in order to solve the case. Meanwhile, Amenadiel helps Linda deal with the death of her ex-husband.
Oh, poor Linda.
Yeah.
That's too bad about her ex-husband. Anything else we need to know going into this? Lucifer, in case you don't know, I love this. Lucifer from the comic books, a character created by Neil Gaiman, spun out of his, I won't say it was exactly spun out of, but yeah, it was spun out of his Sandman series. And in that Sandman series, Lucifer, the Prince of Hell, or the King of Hell, however you want to say it, decides he's had enough and he just wants to quit. And so he walks away from hell and comes up and joins the mortal world. This case, it's TV, so of course you can't just join the mortal world. He has to team up with a cop to solve crimes, which I just love. I think that's just the perfect, like, on the one hand, it's so Neil Gaiman angsty and emo-y and comic booky. I'm the Prince of Hell, but screw you, God. I'm done being who you define me to be. I'm quitting. I'm leaving hell. I'm going to go to Earth and be angsty. So, of course, TV had to be like, and let's team you up with a cop to get you to solve crimes. I just love that. This is okay. In case you don't like that humorous thing, I found this description of Lucifer online, and I actually really like this. So I'm just gonna read this. Based on characters created by Neil Gaiman, Sam Keith, and Mike Dringenberg, the series follows Lucifer, the original fallen angel, who has become dissatisfied with his life in hell. I mean, who wouldn't? Let's be honest. I mean, although they do have all the good musicians go to hell, so they've got, anyways. He's become dissatisfied with his life in hell. After abandoning his throne and retiring to Los Angeles, Lucifer indulges in his favorite things, wine, women, and song, until a murder takes place outside his upscale nightclub named Lux. Because if there's one thing you gotta do, it's gotta be on the nose. So, for the first time in billions of years, the murder awakens something unfamiliar in Lucifer's soul that is eerily similar to compassion and sympathy. Lucifer is faced with another surprise when he meets an intriguing homicide detective named Chloe, who appears to possess an inherent goodness, unlike the worst of humanity, to which he is accustomed. Suddenly, Lucifer starts to wonder if there is hope for his soul. There you go. That's what the show is. One thing they don't tell you in that little description, which I absolutely love about this show too, is that there are many things. They dig into the mythology in a different ways. But the big thing that they don't tell you there is that Lucifer's main superpower in this is that he can look at anybody in the eyes and do this whole like Satan trick where he convinces them to tell him what their heart's desire is, what they want more than anything, and then he gives it to them. He gives it to them, or he tries to convince that he can give it to them, or he makes a deal with them. This is a trope throughout the whole show. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So yeah, him and the Spice Girls.
Yeah. There are a couple of other supporting characters that are really fun. He has a therapist.
Yes.
Who is fantastic, played by Rachel Harris. He has brought a demon with him.
A couple different demons, I think.
And his brother, Angel.
That's right. This brother's still an angel.
Amandiel.
Amandiel.
Well, he's come to find him and try to take him back, but then there's some question about whether that's going to happen.
Right. He tries to bring him back to punish him and get him to go back to hell. But then he starts like staying on Earth himself. And then he starts to wonder if he's a fallen angel too. And then Maz just likes to kill people and things.
Yeah, and wreak havoc. And she's like a bartender at Lux.
Yeah, she's
sometimes.
a bartender, a bouncer. She gets her own job at some point throughout this too.
Yes, she does. She strikes out on her own. And she, at some point, I'm not sure if it happens in this season 2. There are 6 seasons. Maz moves in with Chloe, the detective.
I'd forgotten about that.
Chloe has a
Chloe
daughter.
has a daughter, yes.
And Chloe's ex-husband is the other detective in her department at the LAPD. And he gets along just fine with Lucifer, weirdly. Yeah. He tries to get Chloe back because he sees Lucifer as a threat. But then eventually he kind of just backs off and is fine with Chloe just being her own woman. And they all just want the best for her. But Lucifer really can't admit how much he loves her. But he does.
Anything else we need to know going into this? What was tell me the logline again.
When a murder is connected to a celebrity dating app, Lucifer and Chloe question all they know about the world of social media in order to solve the case. Meanwhile, Amenadiel helps Linda deal with the death of her ex-husband.
So this is what I'm wondering. Like, what year did this season 3 that would have come out in, like, somewhere between 2018?
No, this is November 20th, 2017.
2017. Okay. I think everybody, like, what were your questions about social media in 2017? Did you have any questions about social media at that point? Like in 2017, it kind of already seemed like, nope, social media is pretty much the worst.
Yeah.
For like sure. we were long past thinking social media was any good at that point.
Yeah, but we have talked about the audience for this show.
Yeah.
It seems that there's a very specific demographic fan service, similar to Castle.
Lucifer and Castle are going for the same audience, who would be naturally your mother, and by that I mean your mother. Well, you list everybody's mother.
Yeah.
It's got Tom Ellis. It's got who's the actor playing Amenadiel?
That is.
He's a pretty big deal. I should get his name right. Amenadiel. Anyways, he's hot.
Yes.
You've got him. You got a couple hot ladies. So yeah, I mean you are.
DB
Woodside
plays Amenadiel.
Amenadiel, yeah, he's got the genes.
You know what? It's not even heterosexual because.
Oh no, I never said that it was.
No, I did.
Oh,
I did because Mazikeen is the actress is very attractive. I'm not saying
can confirm.
Just pretty much all of them.
Oh yeah, no, they're all beautiful people.
Even Rachel Harris, who is supposed to be like a little bit like older kind of than all the rest of them. Rachel Harris, Dr. Linda. Yeah, everybody's just like
this is
stringy hot people.
Yes, stringy hot LA people who are just like flaunting around in lots of nice fashion, being all like, "Hi, we're Hollywood beautiful."
Yeah, none of these people have been sitting around during the pandemic and eating ice cream.
All of these people went to their, like, if they had ice cream, they had a tablespoonful of it back in like November, like March of 2020. All right, we're strapping in for some heavenly satanic action here.
Yes, it should be great. Looking forward to it.
All right, let's roll. So hey, there we go. So all right, we have watched the beginning, and I gotta tell you, I'm having a little bit of whiplash.
Yes.
The last one we did, we watched. It was what was it? It's Prime Suspect. Yeah, great. Like, it's just it was definitely not meandering, but you have 3 hours to tell a story, and there's a certain pace. There's a certain amount of, yes, we can take the time to have a shot of Dame Helen fucking Mirren in the window, just like looking mournfully out the window, and then pull out and just be alone. That is not the cuts were so quick in this first bit of Lucifer here. I literally thought that there was something wrong. I literally thought they cut a scene short because I was like, wait a minute, What just happened? Why did that scene end? They were in the middle of that scene. What just happened? Well, no, it's because they have 44 minutes to find a murderer. You were going to get to a murderer. Here we go. No faffing around over here.
And we have to advance character for the whole arc of the season. We have to establish people's personal issues, which will parallel in the A and the B story.
we got no time, people. Let's go. Pick up the pace. Pick up the pace. Pick up the pace. And include maybe a funny little joke about how you thought they were having sex, but they're actually playing Monopoly with her daughter.
Yes.
Aren't you the dirty one?
Yes. Yeah, that was very languorous, the way they like went up their legs.
Oh yeah, the legs that were kicking and the giggling that was happening.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry, open bottles of wine and then like chocolate covered strawberries. I'm sorry, if I'm going to find like fault with any of the small details, it was the chocolate covered strawberries. Because I mean, wine, sure. You drink wine if you play games with your kids. Sure, you can have a fire and be all cozy with your kids. But who brings chocolate-covered strawberries to game night with your kids?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
because that's just asking for chocolate all over the carpet. By the way, by everyone involved.
Yeah, no, it's not just kids. Yeah, so, okay, so yeah.
Everyone's like, ha, ha, ha. That's licking the fingers and then wiping it on the carpet.
That's not a euphemism. She means like on the carpet. Otherwise, just, there's all sorts of health issues. Anyways, yes, the show starts out. Lucifer is having an evening with Chloe. And yes, for like 5 seconds, you're meant to think like, oh my goodness, are they, ooh, that's steamy. And then no, they're just playing Monopoly with the daughter. And Lucifer gets to feel as if he's not being appreciated for just how glamorous he is. He refuses to be anything but the top hat in this scenario. He doesn't want to be a thimble. He doesn't want to be a shoe. #shoe. He wants to be the top hat. And then he goes home. Like right when they're talking about this, they cut so fast to him going into his home that I honestly thought I thought there was something wrong. But I was like, oh no, they meant to cut that scene. Okay, sure. Amenemadiel. Amendili Bobber, amendment. I'm just going to call him Amendment.
Amendiel.
So Amendment is there. His brother, Amendment, who's an angel, is there in the apartment waiting for him and gives him all sorts of grief for having a quiet night in, which Lucifer hotly denies until he lets slip that he was playing Monopoly with Chloe. And Amendment is just like, this is hilarious. You thought you were this slick person going out and having a great time and being all debauched, but actually you like enjoying having a quiet night at home with kids. You've changed. You're not the slick person you used to think. And Lucifer takes great offense at this. And then Amendment goes off to help.
I also thought it was a funny joke.
Yes.
They really crammed a lot in there. You're right. But when Lucifer walks into his apartment, the music is like the dance music is pumping. Yep. There are lights going on everywhere. And he is charmed. He's like, oh, what's going on here? And then he reaches over to the bar. He doesn't see any people. And he reaches over to the bar to the remote and he turns it off. And you realize that that is his intruder alert.
Yes.
That when somebody comes in, it turns on the dance music and the dance lights. Like, that's so silly.
That's so.
I just thought that was a funny little.
Cute. It was a fun little throwaway gag.
With his
they're
character
having fun with
and who he is. He also throws in a line like he is so offended to be called like boring or like having being a quiet night. He's like, I can't be quiet. All these people are depending on me for this point of view that like hell is for people who have had these terrible ways. Like I have a reputation to keep up. Isn't that kind of what he says?
I don't remember, but possibly, sure.
Something to that effect. Or it's maybe not
reputation,
but a standard.
No, he's definitely, standards, his reputation. I have a name to uphold. He's Lucifer. He's got to wine women in song. He can't be sitting at home being all cozy and dad and to some charming child.
But Amendiel thinks that this is actually a nice thing.
Yes.
And that isn't that good for you. You like it. You like being with them.
He doesn't like it. And so smash cut to the next scene, which is the next morning, where there is a woman dead in her apartment by badass. What is it? Badass? It is big ass blunt force trauma to the head. She's been smashed in the head with something. She was a computer programmer. Her name is Kim Jones. She was by all accounts, she led a very boring life, which Lucifer does not want to let anyone forget. He's like, I'm interesting. She's boring. I'm interesting. This was boring.
which she has this super nice
Oh my God.
Pottery Barn house.
Yes, it's just totally
Santa Monica.
I don't know. It certainly looked like a Santa Monica
blue
bungalow.
And
it was
beige,
blue
and
beige.
He
and
makes fun of it
sandy.
for being beige, but it's like that's the color of sand. It's very beautiful and airy.
Oh my God! Like I should be so boring as to have this house, right?
Yes.
If being boring is what it takes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pod. I'm sorry it sounds like this, but I have a killer kicking house. So, FYI, get used to the bore. Anyway, so he's continually talking about how he's not boring at all. This woman is boring. They don't know anything. So Kim Jones, they know that she was a computer programmer. She was not very popular, and they learned this from her roommate, who is very popular. Her roommate is a typical self-obsessed Instagram, or they don't say Instagram, but she's an influencer. She's a social media influencer. As she says, I'm people who get followed. She was more of a follower. About her roommate. They don't explain why they were roommates, just that they were roommates. And that's really all we know. That Esther, the roommate, and that she got into an argument on the phone the night before.
That Kim did.
Kim did, yes. The woman who was murdered got into an argument the night before, which they all assume was with the restaurant that she was ordering takeout Thai food with.
Yeah.
But we know that's not the case because we know the episode is about dating apps and having to get out on dating apps. So that is all that we know. Now we have to make guesses. We did the whole thing, like, in Prime Suspect, we let it go on a little bit because, we know we got 3 hours and we really didn't get any kind of information. But in Lucifer, we can't really wait. There's 44 minutes. It's coming up fast.
We stopped at 6 minutes.
We stopped at 6 minutes in. We stopped at a cut over the 101 cutting through Hollywood, a little establishing shot there. Which, okay, again, little aside here. This show, I had forgotten. This show does such a great job of making LA look amazing. Like, when it's glamorous, it looks glamorous. When it needs to look like luxe, it looks luxe. When it needs to look beachy, but every single shot of LA in the show it's drool worthy.
Yeah.
Like, even the shot of the 101, which we have driven countless times, it is not a good freeway. It is not a good neighborhood. There's nothing glamorous about it, but you look at it and you're like, oh man, look at LA, city of dreams. Wow, amazing. No. Anyways, we stopped 6 minutes in because there's only 37 minutes left in the show. We need to give you some answers or at least some guesses. So from here on in, there's not spoilers from here on in because we don't know anything yet. We're just going to tell you what we think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't even have a lot of normally this is where I would go back to okay, well, they showed this person and this person and this person. We can't think it's this person, so it must be this person. But we've only gotten one person so far. We don't even have more suspects. So, we could just say, well, it's got to be her because that's all we've seen.
Yeah,
but I don't know that that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think that they could do that. I think she's going to be a red herring. She's a good red herring, but I think she's just going to be a red herring. So, what do we know? We know that she has a roommate, that she argued with somebody, that dating apps are involved, and that she's boring. Or that she's meant to be boring. This is the thing. I think this is the thing that we're meant to think, is that she's boring. But this is a show that is all about titillation. It's titillating and what do you really want and aren't I sexy and isn't sexy enough. But no, sexy is not enough. You have to have a good heart too. So, I think that I think there's going to have to be something really titillating about her. Something unknown that we don't know about her, that she's somehow had some secret double life. But I don't think they'd go so far as to make her like an online porn star. All right. So, what could be titillating about computer programmers? And I'm here to tell you that it's not the neckbeards. Neckbeards are not titillating about computer programmers.
We didn't see that she had one.
That's also true. She's also a female. So yes, hopefully she doesn't have a neckbeard. But if she does, good for her. That's a choice. Good for her. She also didn't have a scarf. You know what I mean? Like you expect to see some hipster Angelina with just a scarf wrapped around.
I couldn't even tell you what she looked like or what she was wearing.
She had brown hair.
But she just had boring clothes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't actually notice her clothes. They were nothing
shoe.
noteworthy. Yeah. So, okay. So, she was a hashtag shoe from the outside for sure. I think there are 2 clues that we're missing here.
Okay.
Even though we're only 6 minutes in.
Sure.
One is that the episode is called Chloe Does Lucifer.
Right.
Which is a play on Debbie Does Dallas. And
I didn't I mean, I knew, like, yeah. Go on.
And then or it could be.
Could be. It's certainly meant to evoke that, yes.
Yeah. And then there's also I read the episode logline.
Yeah.
And it says it's a celebrity dating app. Makes Chloe and Lucifer question everything they know about social media.
Okay.
And then there's what was the murder weapon. And they said something thin, but with a big base.
Something heavy. They didn't say with the big base. They said heavy. But I think I see where you're going with this.
And I think celebrity, I bet she was hit with an Oscar. I think she was hit by the base of an Oscar. Somebody took it and, held it by the body, by the Oscar body part,
right.
and
smashed her with
smashed
the base.
her.
Everyone's
with
always
the base.
talking about how it's heavier than you think.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what dented her forehead and killed her. And so I think that's the celebrity part. But I wonder if the Debbie, talking about titillation and the Debbie does whatever. Like, one of the things about social media is that a lot of people have a lot of stuff buried in their feed.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's down there.
Delete your tweets, people.
Yeah. And your history. So I wonder if she found out that somebody was maybe some sort of porn actor or actress in their background. And she discovered it, and then they were like, I'm trying to be a regular star actor, or, this is my move to go legit. This is what I always wanted in my life. You can't reveal this.
Right? I don't know. I get it. Yeah.
I don't know how that connects to being boring, though, because I feel like there's also going to be some sort of, there's also got to be some sort of connection with this whole #shoe thing, where in the fact that Lucifer's supposed to learn something about. Isn't there supposed to be a learning moment in this show?
There's always a learning moment, yes.
Where he learns that, like,
a little bit more about being human.
Boring.
It's okay to be boring. You can be boring.
And also titillating at the same time. You can be both.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how does that lead into your guess?
No, I'm just concerned. I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like it's in there somehow that this woman, we're going to find out she's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Maybe that she worked at a porn place for a long time, and she was a computer executive engineer at a porn place in the Valley. That's why they were showing us the 101.
Right. Oh, gosh, yes, because they're all going out to the Valley.
And here is this famous actress this up-and-coming famous actress who's trying to go, quote-unquote, legit, but she had been a very high-earning porn actress in her lean days, and a computer engineer person is like, no, we made the most money from you and your work was really good.
Now we're going to profit off of it. So maybe it wasn't an Oscar. Maybe it was whatever the awards are for, like, the Adult Video Network Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe she took that award and hit her over the head with it.
Yeah. That's my guess.
That's your guess. It was the star with a star with a buried past that she wanted to stay buried, hitting her over the head with some kind of award.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good guess. So yes, so I have a theory. About, like, with the whole hanging on to the whole social media thing here. So Esther makes a big deal over the fact that everybody loves her, that she is shiny and has lots of followers on social media, while this programmer girl does not have a lot of followers on Instagram. I think that the programmer girl was somehow behind getting her those followers, either paying for the followers or ginning up her account to make sure that she got these followers, and somehow manipulating the social media to get a lot of followers. And maybe she just didn't do that for Esther. Maybe she did that for a lot of people. And maybe she got a little too greedy around it. Not greedy, but maybe she started to ask too much from one person, or was just like, I can destroy you just as easily as I can make you. And so that person got angry with her and came back in and killed her. So I think that it is another social media star, not Esther, but I think that was her hold over Esther. Like, I think she had a hold on Esther as well. That's why Esther's her roommate, because Esther knows which side her bread is buttered on. So she's like, oh, this woman makes sure that I get all the social media follows and everything. So there's some weird so I think Esther's going to come in as like a red herring suspect in the middle here, being like, so you resented the control she had over you. She's like, yes, I did, but I wouldn't kill her. So I think Esther is just a red herring, but I think another social media star that the Kim was helping with, and maybe even pushing up against, being like, no, I made you, I can destroy you. I think that is the person that came in and killed her. So I think that there was another social media star who killed her. That is what I think.
Okay, cool.
So you're sticking with the star with the porn star. Oh,
like
by the way,
Hollywood
star who's trying to keep their hidden porn past in the past. I am going with that it is another social media star who resents Kim's control over their career.
Yeah.
And gets her. And I say, by the way, you're calling the murder weapon as an award, the Oscar or like the AVN award. I'm calling the murder weapon as a hard drive.
Okay.
That's what I say. I say somebody's stealing data and hit her with the hard drive.
Oh.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah.
There you go. Locking it in. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, Heard, we learned a valuable lesson tonight, and not just because we were watching Lucifer, every show that has to have a parable. We learned a valuable lesson tonight. What was the valuable lesson we learned tonight, Heard?
Always at least watch to the teaser.
Yes. Always. It does not go against the rules if we watch the full teaser. We can watch the full teaser. The reason we say this, people, is because there was one more character introduced in the very next scene, which was still in the teaser, and that character was the murderer.
Yeah, we hadn't even gotten to the credits, title.
Yeah, we hadn't even gotten to the title sequence, the title card, nothing. So our rule, like we were
which
so.
I love in Lucifer.
It's a good one.
Drop beat.
Yep. God bless. Anyways, yes, there was one more character introduced in the teaser. The head of the dating app the episode revolved around, and wouldn't you know it, it was him.
Yep,
it was him. And we would have had a much better sense of that had we just watched the next scene.
Yeah.
So,
and watching this, like, there are only two people.
There are three people. There are three suspects. Okay, here's what happens.
Well, I guess there has to be three. The
exactly.
Rule of three or whatever. But
no, there's
him, her roommate,
the head of the app department, and then the guy that Kim went on a date with.
Oh, right.
But you knew, but just by laws of like television writing, you know that the guy who she went on a date with is not going to be it.
Yeah.
Just because you know that they're going to find the guy in Act 2, they're going to question him in Act 3, and they're going to find out he has a perfectly good reason for doing what he did, and of course he couldn't be the suspect. So then it loops back around to the first two people that you see. So it was always going to. This is why I had Esther as the red herring. Like I knew there was going to be a red herring in the teaser. I just didn't without the second one. You don't know who it's going to actually be. Structure gives you clues, but if you don't know the structure, you just don't know. And I'm kicking myself. In case you couldn't tell, neither of us got it right.
No, neither of us.
We were wrong the whole way. No. We just, we were trying to stick to the rules, people. This is what happens when you lay down arbitrary rules. You live by the arbitrary rules, you die by the arbitrary rules. That's just what happened here. So, okay, what did happen? So this is what happened. So they find out that the phone call that Kim was making, she wasn't fighting with a Thai food restaurant. She was fighting with somebody at this app company. And this app company was a very exclusive dating app called Top Meet. So they head to the Top Meet company where Lucifer gets jealous of the CEO because Los Angeles Magazine has named him most interesting bachelor of the year. He clearly is an interesting person while Lucifer is feeling bad about a shoe. But wouldn't you know it, turns out that the person that Kim was fighting with on the phone was the CEO of Top Meet. There you go. That's what we learned. And
he lies. So,
of course he lies.
We're put off the scent a bit. He says, he doesn't know who she is. She hacked her way onto the site. She hacked her way into
this very exclusive site.
Nobody liked her. She was boring.
She only got one date.
Boring and ugly. Yeah, she's only got one date. Who was this one date?
And there's your suspect that you're going to find in Act 2 and question in Act 3, and that's how it went. Anyways, so yes, the CEO says that she hacked in. He kicked her off. She went crazy, but he didn't kill her. He was at the office working. He's got some employee to alibi for him. So he's in the clear. So they decide that what they really need to do is they need to go undercover, and specifically Chloe needs to go undercover at this Top Meet singles and mingle event where all the hot people can meet with each other. There's a very mixer. There's a very cute sequence where Chloe and Lucifer tries to give her dating tips by using Barbie dolls.
Yes, that was funny.
And there's a Cyrano de Bergerac sequence where like Lucifer is like talking in her ear about this is how you pick up men at these interesting. This is how you be interesting. This is how you pick up things. And she decides, I'm just going to be myself. And wouldn't you know it, that is exactly how she picks up a guy who's into surfing, likes sushi, and was the person who had the date with Kim.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. But of course, you're like still less than halfway through the episode, so it can't be him. Turns out it's not. They questioned him. He said, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me because when I dropped her off, I was in love with her. She was a real person. She wasn't a phony. We hear you, Holden. We hear you. It's okay. But when he dropped her off back at her place, she was like, her roommate Esther was still up. So now Esther comes back into play. Maybe Esther's the one to kill her. So they go and question Esther. Turns out Esther was not the one to kill her because Esther doesn't work. Oh, by the way, they also find out in looking at pictures that there is a little hand dumbbell that could have been used as the murder weapon because it's a weapon of convenience and a crime of passion, and it was small and heavy for its size. So it wasn't an award. It wasn't a hard drive. It was a hand dumbbell. Fine, whatever. Our dreams are being dashed all around us. Esther, what have you got for us? Esther lies. She lies. She's just too busy gallivanting all over the world to like really care about what's going on with Kim. But Lucifer works his little mojo, and she says what she really wants is just to relax. It's hard work being so fake all the time. She's never been anywhere except for the gym, and she like pulls down all of these like backdrops where she's been faking all of her celebrity poses. So it's not even about the likes or anything like that. The fraud, oh my goodness, wouldn't you know it? Social media is fake. Lucifer really digging into behind the scenes here on social media. But no, Esther couldn't have killed her because she doesn't work out with these dinky little dumbbells. She goes to a proper gym. So it's not Esther. Who could it be? That only leaves the CEO, of course. Because turns out they find out that the CEO didn't hire Kim as a hacker, and she didn't hack her way in. She invented the platform. Programmed it all herself, but no one would give her any money because she was too normal looking. So she hired this guy, Mac, to be the front and get all the money. He stole it from her. She was about to get some money and get rich from it all, and instead he killed her using the dumbbell.
So this came out in 2017.
Correct.
This was around the time that this story was hitting the news, I think, where these two women had created a business, but they couldn't get anybody to call them back. And so they created a fake man named Kyle to write all their emails and be the president of their company. And
suddenly people started, I remember this story. This is very true. We're laughing, but it's not funny.
Yeah, this actually happened. And so this is ripped from the headlines.
Who knew that Lucifer would be ripped from the headlines? Well, I don't know if there's anything more to say. We got it wrong.
We got it super wrong.
We got it super wrong. There was no porn stars. There was nothing about followers. I should have known I was taking it into way too geeky a time. Not time frame. Yeah. Way too geeky a place there.
And you knew too when I said that there was a Debbie Does Dallas thing that you're like, I don't think it's actually porn. I don't think it's actually about. And I mean, all of this like had nothing really to do with social media. The things that I was saying,
right? Yeah,
didn't really have a lot to do with social media. And I think we would have met the film, that whoever the actor was, I think we would have met them in the teaser, which we would have. Our guesses would not.
We would have. We did ourselves in on this. We did ourselves in on this. Next time,
the title card.
Wait for the title card. This is the thing. We at least get to watch the whole teaser. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there's a dead body, but we at least get to watch the whole teaser. We were just so nervous.
I think we were like, we got to stop now. Otherwise, we're going to get too far in.
Yeah, we were.
Not realizing that, oh no, this is a hella long teaser. And that, we don't get the title card until 10 minutes in or whatever it was.
Whatever it was, yeah.
So
it
just
wasn't 10 minutes in. It was only like 7.5, 8 minutes in.
It was the guy who was hired to be the front for the computer programmer who killed the computer programmer, Kim.
Yes.
Because she was a hashtag shoe. She had hired him. So she turned out to be more interesting. He turned out to be the killer.
Correct.
And he had taken on the whole visual thing. And he was not going to give her a cent. And he had taken it over because he was like, you don't deserve to have this because you're boring.
Yes.
And he killed her with a dumbbell, which we also learned if it's a crime of passion and you're a first-time killer, you usually take the murder weapon with you and then you hide it somewhere
Right, you should just
around
leave it
yourself
at the crime scene.
rather than leave it at the crime scene. And so he had taken it to his amazing freaking house.
It was a beautiful mansion.
Oh my God. Yeah, Lucifer, they always have great
locations. It's a beautiful show. Like, this is a show that really, just glamorous. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, wow. Like I said, it makes everything look good. Everything is candy coated and glossy and shiny and pretty.
I want that house in LA.
Yeah.
So we were all super wrong.
Are we the New Jersey Generals?
What?
I think the New Jersey Generals, I forget the name of the team. What's the team that the Harlem Globetrotters always plays? Is that the New Jersey Generals? I guess what I'm trying to say is here, I'm not sure we're gonna come up with too many wins. I think we're setting ourselves up for a lot of failure here, and suddenly I'm not so sure how I feel about that.
I feel about this podcast?
No, I think the podcast is great. I'm just saying my record is going to be abysmal here. I'm glad we're doing this.
One win.
I have one win,
That's
but like,
good.
my gosh, like this is how many?
I think we'll get better. We're learning how these things go.
We've been watching a lot of TV. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're old people. We've watched a lot of TV. I think we should know how these things go by now.
Maybe.
All right. I'm having a crisis of faith, people.
All right.
I'm having a crisis of faith. I don't know, man. I mean, look at it this way. Like the people in New Jersey Generals or whoever the team is, there are people screaming at us right now about what the actual name of the team that plays the Harlem Globetrotters are, by the way. Man, I'm just going to have to get used to that. I'm going to have to find joy in the game. I'm going to have to find joy in the game and not the winning.
Yeah.
This is hard for me. This is hard for me. You know that I like to
okay.
win.
You're right.
I like to win.
Well, you can keep winning. I think this is enjoyable.
All right. You know what that means?
What does it mean?
It means it's time for the IMDb dive.
Woo!
Wait, hold on. She has a cat on her lap, so I have to bring the computer to her. All right, Herd, what have you learned? Tell us all the deep, dark IMDb secrets about this show.
Okay, so this show, I think you mentioned up at the top that it is based on characters created by Neil Gaiman, Sam Keith, and Mike Dringenberg. Or Dringenberg? Yeah, Dringenberg, I think.
Sure.
They created the comic book series, created for Vertigo.
Right, they created Lucifer for Vertigo.
That's a stamp, or what's it called?
It's an imprint. It is an imprint of DC.
Yeah.
It used to be, then it wasn't. Now it is again, I think. I don't know.
And
Neil Gaiman definitely still is.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman definitely still is.
Working for DC?
No, he's just still Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is still a thing, a person.
Yes.
Yeah, he's still out there. He's still doing the Neil Gaiman thing.
Yeah, he is.
By which I mean writing very, very well.
Yes.
Tons of fans.
Yes. And Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer,
Woot woot!
His character, Lucifer, he gets to play in all these other DC films. So this has been a very lucrative thing, or not films, but like TV shows and stuff. He gets to show up and play Lucifer. And
oh
all
my
these
God, that's hilarious.
things.
I would not have realized that. So yeah, all the Black Lightning and all the Green Arrow and all the everythings. That's hilarious. I didn't realize that.
So that's really fun. And then it was developed for TV by Tom Kapanos, if I'm pronouncing that name right.
Tom.
Worked on Californication before with David Duchovny.
Right. Why Don't You Love Me?
Yeah, he created that from scratch. That was his show. And he is not the showrunner on Lucifer. That's another person. Tom Capanos he's from the East Coast. He started as a staff script reviewer for CAA, and then sold a script that was going to have Jennifer Aniston was attached to it. It never got produced, but the script was seen by the people who did Dawson's Creek, and so they picked him up to be a staff writer, and he did quite a few episodes.
That's interesting, because when you told me that he created it, but then they hired somebody else to do the show running for it. I assumed that it was just because he didn't have enough experience under his belt, but I mean, he had lots of experience, and he even created Californication. So I wonder why they hired the new showrunner on it. Don't get me wrong, we like the show. It's a good show. I'm not trying to say he did a bad job. I'm just curious. What else we got?
The lead, as I mentioned, Lucifer, is Tom Ellis, who I adore him as Lucifer. But this summer we watched Miranda, and he is the adorable lead that she is in love with and eventually marries. Sorry, spoilers.
Spoilers for a 10-year-old show. Too bad.
Yeah. And he had done what's it called? EastEnders, the famous EastEnders, the famous soap in Britain. He's British. Actually, he's Welsh, to be specific. He is Welsh. And he Midsummer Murders. But I'm excited. I really want us to do a Poirot episode, murder mystery. So it should be allowable.
Sure, it should be on the thing.
And he plays Detective Bland in one episode. And so I totally want to see this. How in the world Tom Ellis plays Detective Bland. But that should be fun. He was also in the TV show Once Upon a Time. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Once Upon a Time on
opposite
ABC,
Grimm. Yeah. He plays Robin Hood. I totally want to see
this
episode.
Oh, wow. That would be a lot of fun.
While he was doing Miranda, he was here in the U.S. doing a show, I think it was for USA, called Rush.
Yes.
Which is totally, I feel like, a warm-up for Lucifer. Because he plays a party down doctor who becomes it's not freelance, it's an on-call doctor to celebrities and rich people. And it's totally party, beach life. He's just such a hedonist. It seems like it was pretty funny. And I think they only had, or not funny, but I don't know.
Entertaining.
Slick and entertaining. And it's Tom Ellis. He's a very enjoyable and lovely person to watch on screen. Then Lauren German.
She plays Chloe.
Plays Chloe, a detective. I think she had some warm-up roles as a detective on Hawaii Five-0. She did quite a few episodes of that.
Oh, neat.
She was also on Chicago Fire.
Really?
A lot of seasons of the Chicago Fire, yeah. And D.B. Woodside, that guy has been on everything.
Who does he play?
He plays Amandiel.
Right, Amendment.
Yes, the things that I've seen him in, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, wow. He's been around a while.
Yeah, he was also on 24. He was the president.
He was the president on 24?
Yeah.
So 24, he was the president on 24. Who was Andre Braugher? What show was Andre Braugher president for?
Well, maybe he was president in another season, because there were a bunch of seasons of 24.
You're right.
There are lots of 24 hours.
It's true. There were lots of days.
Yeah. I also did not watch that show.
Neither did I. I've got no idea, which is why I'm telling you. Anyways,
but
please go on.
He was the president, and he was also on Suits. So he's had quite a fun, action hero, murder mystery, supernatural.
Now he just gets to kind of slink around and be, I'm an angel.
Yeah, he's an angel.
But I'm also kind of sexy.
Yeah. And Leslie Ann Brandt is not in this episode. She plays Mazikeen, but she's not in this episode. But I just wanted to bring it up. She is a South African now residing in Los Angeles. Her big breakout was being on Spartacus, which was on Stars. Yeah. And I want to go watch her in that because I bet she was spectacular. Also, obviously. I want to give a shout out to, she's in this episode, and she's a regular, so it's not like I'm shouting her out. She's pretty cool. Amy Garcia, she plays Ella Lopez. She is the coroner, I guess. Is that what that call
forensic
that
scientist?
Forensic
sure.
scientist. She shows up at the scene and tells you kind of this is a murder weapon you're looking for. So she's a Chicago native of Mexican and Puerto Rican descent, and she made her stage debut at the age of 7 in Cinderella. And at the age of 12, she was dancing and in the Nutcracker, and then she joined the Young People's Company, includes the alumni John Cusack and Joan Cusack and Jeremy Piven and Lily Taylor and Aidan Quinn. So big deal Chicago actress.
Oh, wow.
And she went to Northwestern and then moved to LA and started developing her career here. She was at one point the only Latina in her generation to be on syndicated television, according to her bio.
This is great. I guess I'm just spoiled. I mean, last time we did Dame Helen fucking Mirren, and maybe I just got spoiled. I was expecting there to be like some hidden Russian aristocracy in one of these
Tom
people.
Ellis.
Tom Ellis. Man, if Tom Ellis was like descended from Russian aristocracy, that would just be phenomenal. There's got to be some aristocracy. No, he's Welsh.
In Wales.
He's Welsh. Ah.
Hi.
I was trying to do a Welsh, but that sounded more like a Scottish hacking of my throat as opposed to a Welsh hacking of my throat. So I apologize. I apologize if I inadvertently offended either any Welsh or Scots. All right. So that's what we got. Where are we going to next?
Veronica Mars.
Ooh, Veronica Mars going to Rob Thomas Land.
Woohoo!
Which is somewhere on the coast of California. I don't know where we got going on there. All right, there we go. We'll see you next time. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jessica.
Thanks so much.
Bye. Hey everybody, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it.
And now we want to hear from you.
Tell us your guesses, your scores,
Your insider info, your favorite logic cop catches.
and your suggestions for what shows we should watch next.
Follow us and join the fun on Twitter and Facebook at Cluedunnit.
Or on Instagram at Cluedunnit Podcast.
Rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts to help get the word out.
Because watching TV is always better with friends.
No. Owls don't woo, they who. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Some like owl party girl being like, woo, look at my wings. And the mice are all looking around like, what the fuck was that?